So, you'd like to learn more about soldering copper pipe? In this video, we'll walk through the steps and share some best practices. Hi, my name is Tate with Apex Pros. Soldering copper pipe is definitely a skill that every plumber should have. In this video, our master plumber Shannon teaches a class on soldering copper pipe, both with MAPP gas and oxyacetylene torches.
Pretty much, this is soldering. I know some of you guys are experienced. Some of you guys, have probably already done some of it, so you guys have an idea. But first thing,
I just came to watch you in action.
First thing you want to do is, before you solder anybody's home, make sure it's safe. Make sure there's nothing flammable. It's going to catch on fire. You don't want to catch anybody's home on fire. Yeah, insulation, drywall, dust, even dust. Spider webs, all that to catch on fire. Just get it out the way. Make sure the place is clear.
Good to have your extinguisher with you.
Yep, fire extinguisher always close by. So, did you guys watch the first step of what he did?
No.
Doing soldering? He cleaned the pipe. You always have to clean your pipe. You always have to clean your fittings. They got sand cloth. They got different style of sand cloth. I like this style. There's another style that I
like mesh better. So.
Yeah. There's another one that's solid. It's kind of supposed to be waterproof, but the blue stuff. It's not waterproof. Yeah. You got to clean your fittings.
Okay.
These are your fitting brushes. They got them in 1/2 inch all the way up to whatever size you need. 3 inch, 4 inch, whatever you're soldering, they have them.
They have them for
Yeah, they have them 1.5 inch, 2 inch. Yep. So you always clean your fittings and you always clean your pipe. You have to get the oils off, or the solder will have trouble sticking. Next step is, after that, it's fluxing.
I don't know, you guys told me I like to heat my flux before I get started, especially in the winter. So
Yeah, in the winter it's like a thick paste. So he already did this obviously, but I just want to, you don't need a lot. Just put a nice generous amount on there. You put too much, it's just going to drip on the floor. It's going to drip all over the house. So wherever you're soldering, make sure you put something down on the floor, because once it gets on the floor, it's kind of hard to get up. Really, it is. It'll come up, but it'll smear. It's not going to come out of carpet though. I mean, just be careful when you're soldering and where you're soldering at. One thing is that, teaching thing that a lot of people do that I don't like. You don't just solder one side. You make sure you have your fitting, your piece of pipe, your piece of pipe in all 3 sides or all 2 sides. It's going to pull in, but it might pull in and go too far. That'll happen. Or say you heat this side up, then you go to heat this side up. You're reheating this up, so now your solder is reheating up and it's not sealing. It'll fall back out the joint. So then you have a leak because while you're heating this up, this heated up, and now all your solder went out. So you want to sweat everything at the same time. Yeah, as you're turning, as you cut, you want to twist a little bit at a time. If not, you'll flatten the pipe out. Yep, and you can just do that. You can just take that and then use it on the other side, Save flux. Get it together.
If you're a good plumber, you would have reamed your pipe.
Yeah.
Get him.
I was trained to only ream medical gas piping. I've never, yeah. I've seen plumbers do it. I mean, there's no jagged edges on it. If you see any jagged edges, yeah, ream it. But
your cutter should have a ream.
Yeah, your cutters usually have a reamer on the back of it. Just open it up. If you see any messed up pieces on the inside, it's going to get cut. Just take it and just do that. It just makes it smooth.
Right.
Yeah, and get it out. Clean it. So now that we have pipe in all 3 fittings, on all 3 sides of the fitting, where's the solder at? Oh, you got it. Thank you.
We used to, if you ever had trouble you're soldering a long stick and it keeps dropping, get that fitting one tight.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So there's tricks to this. So when you get in the bigger pipe and it's heavier, say you want this to come off horizontally, so you put your level on it, but as you heat it up, it'll keep falling, because it's not a tight fit. So what you do, you take your, pretty much the opposite side of where you want it to face, and you squeeze it with some channel locks, and then when you twist it back, it'll be tight, and it won't move. Yeah. So it's just a trick. That's the trick of the trade. As you work with it, you'll learn different tricks to fit copper. And I always, the tip of the blue is the tip of the flame is what you don't want it too close. You want the tip of the, that's the hottest part right there. the very tip of the torch, the flame. I move it back and forth. Usually, I just heat my bottom up and I let my solder flow around. You'll see if you just tap it, see how I just play with it? To see if it's ready. It's not ready yet. And the reason you move it is so you don't burn one spot. That's it. Come to the other side. Done. See that it doesn't take much. You hold your heat on the bottom. Let me turn this off. Your solder will flow towards the heat. So that's why I hold my heat towards the bottom, put my solder on the top, it'll roll around to the heat. I let it cool. Always wipe your joint off when you're done, because the flux will cause it to oxidize, it'll turn green, and it'll make it look ugly when you're done. Come back a day later and everything is green, and the homeowner is like, hey, what's wrong with my pipe? It's turning green. Because you didn't wipe it off when you got done soldering. And get it all nice and shiny. That's the gist of it. You guys want to take it out? Sometimes at the bottom, you'll have bubbles. You can knock those off. Some plumbers will knock those off. That's not too bad for me. If you have a nut or something like a union that you want to slide over, you'll have to knock that off, because it won't go. It will not slide over that. If you have a union or a nut that needs to slide over, so some of them you have to knock off, some of them you won't. But just remember, 3/4 copper takes 3/4 inch of solder to fill it. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. That's all you need to fill it up. If any more, you're just forcing too much in. You're wasting it. So, didn't take much. You saw how much heat I applied. You guys want to give it a try? You guys, I'm here for you guys to just give it a try. Now, your vertical joint is going to be a lot harder than you want to get hot enough to where you're. You want to demonstrate it? You want me to demonstrate it? The vertical, huh? Okay. I'll try this vertical joint real quick. I did too. So the vertical joint,
See how pretty you make it.
it'll run down.
I've seen some pretty good ones though. It's all about that light touch.
Yeah, it is. But the vertical joint, it's a lot more complicated, because you don't want the solder. You overheat it, all the solder will run down the pipe. So there's a technique. You want to you want to hold this torch up so that the solder flows up into it.
Turn it upside down.
Yeah, not all the time. Not all the time. Let's see how good I get. I can do it.
Pressure's on.
You see how it's filling up? Man, see that? Oh, that's in there. That's good. But I'll demonstrate what happens if you get it too hot. You guys can see. See, that's a perfect solder joint done by me, of course, you know. When you get it too hot, or you put too much solder in it, see that? That's what you don't want. But if that does happen, just hurry up while it's still hot, wipe it off. Clean it up while it's still hot. There you go, that's a vertical solder joint. Does everybody know how to measure and fit copper? You guys know how to measure and fit copper?
I don't know what that means.
You measure face to face, and that's your cut piece on copper pipe.
Just add the hubs in.
No, ain't no hubs. You just measure face to face. That's your cut piece. So if you got 2 pieces of pipe, copper pipe, You measure face to face. That's your cut piece.
How does the thing work? You're the commercial guy.
It's not on?
No.
This right here? Turn it on. Turn your handle on. It's on now.
Let me hear it.
Now you can turn it off with that. There you go.
Okay.
That's it. That's perfect. That's it. That's it. That's a soft torch. That's not the turbo torch. They gave me a soft flame, a soft tip. Yeah. You can get a little closer. Right there. Yeah. Move it back and forth. There you go. There you go. That's where you want it.
Go ahead.
I'm tired of dropping these glasses.
I have not touched a food tank in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I've never touched a food tank before after.
Let me see that. Let me see that. Let me see that solder. Watch it. Do it back and forth just like that. Bro. That wasn't clean good or something. See how it's having trouble sticking? Huh? It ain't the user. It wasn't clean good. Let's try another piece. Let that cool down. Clean. You see that burns a lot hotter than that.
Oh yeah.
So let it cool down. But the trick for that, you can just take your solder and take your brush and just Sometimes if you want to make it look nice, just to do it. But yeah, to clean it up, clean it off and take it off. I've done it before.
So I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to see more like it, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching.